How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So the weather's been on and off. It's been really sunny and it also looks like it's about to rain as well. So it's been on and off today. So this is a video response more than else to a question that was asked to me on Instagram about, I'd say, 2 months ago. So I do apologize for not getting this video out there to the person who asked it. They also asked me to keep their names out of the video, so they're going to be kept anonymous. So that's perfectly fine. I'm more than happy to do that. Reason for that is because they have a YouTube video and they don't want their viewers knowing that they've asked me a question and then for them to go to their videos for some reason. But hey ho. It was a question that I mentioned in my last video. Someone wants me to make a video on how I store my bushcraft and outdoors and camping equipment, basically, and talk about that and do a little show and tell if I can. I found that question a bit odd at first because this person knows how I store my equipment because they've asked me this before, but I will do this video and maybe they just want it out there, as, for the viewers to see it as well and get some ideas. There's nothing special about what I do with the storage. So firstly, I'll talk about my cutting tools. And any leather work it goes with that, so masks and sheaths and things like that, or anything that is leather as well, all stay in the house and they just stay in my office. Basically, I work from home and they're in the box in the office, so nothing special there. Okay, so there's no point in me showing you anything about that. I might put a little clip up on screen here just to show you a little bit there. And I also consider my books and my library as equipment. I see that as part of my gear. A lot of people don't tend to consider their library as gear, outdoor equipment. Yeah, it might not be the outdoor equipment you take out all the time with you. Maybe some of the reference books you will, but I still see it as part of my equipment. So my library stays indoors and that stays in my office as well. So I've got a quite extensive library. I'll show a little clip on screen as well of that. Having said that, my clothing is generally in my cupboard in my bedroom. So I've got a cupboard in my bedroom and I generally keep my outdoor clothing there. My boots, on the other hand, are stored with my other equipment. So that's what this video is going to be about, is to show you where I store the rest of my gear, the tents, the tarps, the hammocks and pots and pans and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Okay, so all my shiny stuff. And guys, admittedly, I probably have way too much equipment than I need. I've got replicas of everything a lot of the times. I do keep my equipment nice and clean, so all my pots and pans, I tend to take the soot off it. And the reason for that is because I don't want it to dirty up all my other equipment, especially the way I'm storing it as well. I have multiple versions of things because I have it for different scenarios. So that's depending if I'm going canoeing, paddling on a kayak for the day, hiking, hill and mountain climbing, backpacking, long trails, just spending time in the woods, car camping, all those sort of things. So there's lots of different versions of the same thing depending on what I'm doing. So, and it really comes down to that weight. So can I afford more weight? Okay, then I'll take my heavy equipment. If I'm going to be in public surroundings, so like the bushcraft show as an example, when I went there, I've been there several times, I don't tend to take all my expensive gear, but just in case it got stolen. Not to say there's thieves there, but I did remember a year I went and someone stole from someone else a big wood burning stove, so from their tent. So since then, I've always took my cheaper equipment, just things I need, basically a sleeping system with a tent and some means of cooking. And I take my cheaper cooking equipment then. On that note, my high-end stuff tends to come out with me quite a lot, and I've got my woodlands bushcraft style stuff, and that can be a little bit heavy, but I'm not hiking too far into the woods to go camping. But if I'm backpacking, I tend to have lightweight stuff. So it really depends on scenario. And from a canoeing, again, that slightly changes as well. And I don't tend to take my high-end stuff just in case I was to capsize into the water and lose it. So therefore, I've got cheaper versions of the stuff I need as well. Do I need it all? Probably not. Do I want to? Oh yeah, but it's my hobby, guys. It's like it's your hobby. We are admittedly kit junkies as well as, you know, educational educators, I suppose, in the subject, and we look at, you know, getting education on plants and trees and fungi and learning crafts and skills and stuff like that. So we tend to go down that route. That's the idea of it more than else, and using bushcraft. But I also do like the equipment too, so I do have that side to me too. So enough rambling on. Without further ado, let's show you where I keep a majority of my stuff. Okay. So in my barn, I have this tin shed, and you can see it says Sammy's Man Cave there. Not a cave I hang out in by any chance. My gym is. So let's start here. I mean, I've got an axe outside of this thing. It's a restoration project. I got this for free, and I'm going to restore that. So above there is where I keep my wet shoes for when I'm canoeing, and I keep sledges up there for when it's snowing if I need to drag things. Let's go in to the cave. There we go. Look at this. Bit messy at the moment, as you can see. So let's go straight in. Let's turn this little light on. Give us some light here. Okay. So as you enter, about banging your head, okay, you can see I've got like a shelving unit there onto the left hand side. I've got stuff on the floor there. This stuff here is just stuff I need to organize and sort out. Some of it I need to sell. Okay, so there's like a military beds and stuff like that. I do buy and sell my equipment as well, guys. If I don't like it, I don't hold on to it too much. If I do like it, I tend to hold on to it. So as you enter the shed, I'm going to turn around, do a little spin, and what I'm going to do is close these doors quickly so you can see the back of the doors. That's where I keep my buoyance aids for paddling, and that's my paddling helmet. I have this hanging pocket system going on here, and that's stuff I tend to grab from. So I've got like my first aid kit, my personal first aid kit here. I also keep for some reason, keep my skeg from my Severidor kayak in there. I've got some head torches and torches there. I've got bug repellent, that should be in that one, because that's a torch. I've got bug repellent and sprays just here, and then underneath I've got a little notebook, and some of these are waterproof covers for your phone. And you know, sometimes I keep a couple of compasses in there, but I've got stuff indoors as well I use. So that's on the back of the door. Down next to it, this is my chair. So I've got my typical car camping chair. That's my little stool. I do have another one back there. That's my little tripod chair. That's the one I take canoeing if I'm spending a couple of nights out. Over here, I've got a little bag that goes over the shoulder. Sometimes I use this. I tend to use this when I go abroad. And I've got my side pouches just here for my Karrimor Sabre SF. And underneath that, I've got like I suppose it's a haversack that just goes over my shoulders. And that's generally what I carry if I go for a little day bundle. And a little bag there, bits and bobs. Now hanging up, I've got this sort of net system, if I can just back up a bit here, net system hanging off the roof of my shed, and that's where I keep all my dry bags. I just dump them up there, okay, and gaiters as well. So if I've got gaiters, I've got some black gaiters as well, they all go up there. So any kind of dry bag and little storage bags to pouches and what have not, I store them up there. And I got a good deal recently on it on the car boot, so that's where they go. Looking down then, let's have a look at this sort of shelving unit. So I've got two tiddy lamps. One of them I need to buy some components to get it work. This is the one that does work, so that's my tiddy lamp, and I generally use that in case we have a blackout, but also sometimes I like to have a lamp on if I'm car camping. and it just puts out a nice bit of light. And that's if I, don't really need a fire or anything. I just want a bit of light. I use my tilly lamps for that. If I go to bushcraft meets, sometimes I'll take the tilly lamp and I'll use them. I purchased them for, well, I think that one was £10, and I think the other one was about £5, and I bought them second hand. Going underneath here, going along, should I say, I've got this grill. Now, I've got two of them. A little hack for you here, guys. You can buy these grills in IKEA. Okay, they're not actually grills, they're shoe racks. They stack on top of each other and you put your shoes on them. Okay, but what I did is I purchased one because they fold out and they've got legs and that. They act as a grill as well. They're made of metal. They will warp and you can bend them back into shape, but other than that, once you use them a couple of times, they stop warping. So that's my grill, and I use it as storage as well. So I put two of them. That's a brand new one I haven't used. This is the one I'm burning up at the moment. I've got a mesh tin just here. I do like sometimes using mesh tin. I've got my Eagle product kettle just there. That's the medium one. I think it's 1.7 litres. And then I've got a 0.5 litre one here. This is not Eagle kettle. This is the knockoff that you can get. And I think I bought that from Shein or somewhere like that for about £5. So that was dirt cheap, and it's exactly the same as the Eagle product, really, pretty much same thing. This one here is Sod's Law. I bought that one, and then someone gave me that one. So there we have it. So I've got two. So there's another one. That one hasn't got the clips on the side, but I love it. This is my garden kettle. Sometimes I sit on the porch and I put the kettle and I put this one on for me and my wife. This is the one that comes out bimbling. So I've got a couple of kettles. This system here is pot and pans. I've used this a couple of times. This is is it One Peak? I think it's made from Snow Peak or Coleman's or somewhere like that. I think it might be Coleman's, but it's called One Peak. You get a little pan, a couple of pots inside there. I got this from a car boot. I buy a lot of stuff secondhand, so it comes with a small cup inside of it. Another little bowl with handles, and there's a hanging pot. I bought that from a car boot, the entire setup, and I've used it a couple of times for cooking. And like I said, I clean all my gear, guys. And I bought it. How much did I pay? I think about £4. And when I looked online, this entire kit was worth like 50 quid in its days. So good find, good deal. Always look at car boots. I got a couple of billy cans. So this one was a Temu purchase. This is one of those Morskancy style pots. They're not the exact same, but you can get them. I think they're Camberwell. I got that on Temu for £2. So I don't spend a lot of money. And as I said, I've got multiple of the same things because some of the stuff, like if I was to take this kettle, I wouldn't be too bothered about losing it if I was to capsize. Where my Eagle product, I'll probably cry because it's expensive. Okay, same for this. So this, I wouldn't cry about it if I was to lose it, and it could double up as a kettle. But my zebra pots, on the other hand, they're a little bit more expensive. So I've got the 14 centimeters zebra pot there, and I've got a 12 centimeter zebra pot with a hobo stove surrounding it. Going along, these are those lids that are made for my Crusader kit and my US canteen, and you can see I've got a couple of more BCB water bottles there. I got them really cheap, like a quid each. So that was some time ago, some years ago. There's the Decathlon cup. So if I don't want to take my expensive ones, I take this one. That lid was a little homemade lid for it. From backpacking, you would have seen this in videos. I take my titanium cup, so that's lightweight for backpacking. A couple of little spice pots. I got a cookser. I got 2 cups. These generally get used in the garden when me and my wife have a cup of tea in the porch. I got some spare extra little boldy mug things just hanging up there. I use them for little day bimbles as well. Underneath, I've got these, I suppose, steamers, but I turn them into fire pits. That's all I do. So it's a nice little fire pit. I've got a small one there as well. A couple of homemade alcohol stoves. Gas can holder. There's the clips for the zebra pots, but I don't use them. Stranger, little stand there, just bits and bobs, guys, and that's that. Underneath where I keep my frying pan, so obviously we need eggs. Now, this is cool. That's my frying pan I generally use, and that one, a lot of people say to me, is it the Stanley one? Is it the Eagle product one? No, it's the Capelon, and it's just as good. It's heavy duty. That's my main use frying pan. Let's put that there for a minute. But underneath in the box there, you can see I've got a brand new MSR frying pan. It was brand new in the box, never been used, and I bought it in a charity shop for £5, and I've got a couple of pouches just in there for my mess tins. So that's another one. So I've not had a chance to use that one yet because I'm always using this one. But if I do need 2 pans, I will take that one out and that'll be used. Going along, I've got a couple of meal bank bags. This one got stained in Sweden. My what was it? I think not sun cream. It might have been something big exploded in my bag and stained everything. I couldn't believe it. But I got a couple of meal bank bags there. There's another one down there. So they're just for water filtering. And in here, I just keep my Crusader pouches. In this box is my plates, some spare water bottles. They're the ones I go backpacking with. It's my foraging pouch. There's another plate. Pouches, bowls, cutting boards, my water filter, which is made by Life System, some more plates, just bits and bobs, stuff I can just grab on the fly, and off I go. And then I've got some glow sticks in that tub, and some extra bits and bobs in there. It's got everything. I don't really want to go through it. Okay, so that is the top shelf. Going down into the middle shelf, this is where I keep my sleeping bags. And this is also where I keep my towels just there as well. But my sleeping mats, my tents, my hammocks and tarps and things like that. And right down is where I've got all my fuel gas cans for when I'm using gas. And I've also got one of those big Halfords gas stoves, which for car camping more than anything else. This side here that's a big bivvy. Got more sleeping mats, more tarps, these big sacks, these military sacks here. And in that bag is a big, I think it's a Frontier stove. I think that's what the brand was, but it's a big stove for my Lavu, a big Lavu. I've got a set of drawers just here. On top of that, I keep map cases because I tend to grab them first. A bit of extra webbing, that's spare webbing and hand warmers. Top drawer is bits and bobs for like my filter. That's my bug repellent / lamp, which is my flex tail. And I've got extra bits, tape for my feet, soles. I've got a little sink, wash gear, things like that, bandanas, hand sanitizers, just bits and bobs I put in there. Next one down, that's my Ben Orford pouch. That should be indoors actually. It's a leather, because leather gets all weird. That's my Barco Laplander, the sheath I made myself. Got a shovel, got some fire gear, the steel kits. This is my tool roll that I made. I'll show you that quickly. It's a tool roll that I made some time ago for carving. It comes out if I'm doing bushcrafty bits and doing a bit of carving. Tins, a little survival tin, and you can see there sharpening stone holder. Lots of little bits and bobs there as well, and some of these little clippy things that I make. In here is mainly cordage, lots and lots of different cordage. I also have cordage hanging up there. And the bottom drawer is fire. Lots and lots of fire. So there's a fire kit in there, really. Should go in there. Keep it together. Okay. So fire, lots of different flints and steels. You've seen them in videos, guys. I have lots of different versions, and tinders and matches and lighters. All the good stuff. I've got my canoe barrel there. I put some other pouches in there as well, and I've got this sort of bag that I keep pouches in as well, small pouches that I normally store here for all my cooking pots and that. I've hung up this rack here, so that's the light, it's the solar light. Has my boots, so I've got 2 pairs of Altbergs, and I've got a pair of Hayaks boots just there. I've got another pair of Altbergs indoors I use for general everyday stuff. Snow boots. These 2 are the Rogue boots. You can get them on Raven's site. And that's my jungle boots. My US jungle boots. The Altbergs I got from £10 each. Okay, they're practically new. So yeah, there's my canoe barrel, and behind there is my walking poles. And then hanging along here, I've got backpack heaven. So I've got my big one, that's my 6100 Karrimor sabre. Okay, so SF. Next to that, I've got my Karrimor sabre 45. You can see I'm a big fan of Karrimor sabre. Next to that, I've got the second hand. This is my Karrimor sabre 30. So I've got different versions of the same pack. This is my general day-to-day pack if I'm going shops, if I'm going on an aeroplane, things like that. And I don't tend to use it outdoors as much these days, but that is my Highlander Pro Force 25. I've had that for years and years and years and years. Behind it, this is one I'll take canoeing because I don't want to take my sabres canoe in case I capsize. And that's my Pro Force Highlander again. I think this one is 44 litres. So I can get all my camping gear in that one. If I capsize, get it wet, get it dirty, I'm not too bothered. It's not my expensive one because I got it, I think, 12 quid with the 44. My 25 litre one was dearer. I got it brand new, but I've had it for years, you know. Probably bought that for about 25 quid. Oop, dropping it now. My sabres, on the other hand, they're quite expensive, except for the 30. I got that as a good deal from somebody. This one is my favourite day pack out of all of them. This is my Frost River, and this is my Expedition pack. Now, these packs from Frost River, it's Duluth. They go, you can buy them. I think I saw them at the bushcraft shop for like 280 quid, and years ago they were about 315 pounds. I picked that one up at a car boot sale. Okay, amongst a load of other packs, and the guy didn't know anything about the packs. He must have got them at an auction or something. And I picked it up and he went, "Oh yeah, it's a bit dirty." It wasn't. That's the way it's meant to look. And I got it for £4.50. £4.50, less than a fiver. That's awesome, isn't it? What a deal! And it was practically new when I got it. I've used the heck out of it all these years. This is my hiker's pack. That is my Vango. So that's my contour. I've had that for years and years. 60 plus 10. That's the one you'll see me if I'm going backpacking. Again, I picked it up at a car boot sale. The guy used it once. It was practically new when I saw it. And I went, "How much do you want for that, mate?" And he said, £5. So I got it off him for £5. Okay. When I took it home, I looked in the pockets. I found a brand new tube of toothpaste. And I thought, okay, cool. No point throwing that away, might as well use it. And then in the pocket, I found £3.50 in coins. So really, I gave him £5, got £3.50 back, and then I really bought the pack for £1.50. So what a deal! And it's been brilliant. I have tried other packs. I keep coming back to this one. I had the Vango Sherpa at one point, and I didn't get along with it. I bought it off Gary. He didn't get along with it. I didn't get along with it, so I've sold that to John. John seems to get on with it more. Behind there is a very old, this is my old day pack. I barely use it these days, but I stick patches on it, showing places that I've been. That is a Berghaus Munro. That is, but it's caked in patches now. So along the bottom here is pretty much stuff to sell, more than else, you know, this little pan there and a little sleeping bag. That tent I'm keeping because that's the one I used at bushcraft show recently, so I'm going to keep that tent. But yeah, there's military beds in that there. So, and that is my setup, and there is my oars for paddling, so I keep them above here. Just point out. I think I've covered everything. So guys, that is everything how I store my kit and equipment. Bit all over the place, a bit messy. I have it's like an organized mess. I know everything, I know where everything is, and I do a bit of an audit and I do tidy up from time to time. But at this point in time, I'm using it and abusing it. So yeah, I just chuck it up, and that's that. So guys, thank you very much for taking the time out to watch this video. Hopefully that's been insightful for you. If you've enjoyed today's video, just give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, guys. Do appreciate your support. Yeah, that is my bushcraft cupboard, I call it. It's actually my outdoor gear storage unit, so to say. Slightly quirky, but it keeps everything out of the way, and it's my little space where I can put all my stuff and all my shiny stuff that I use all the time. So guys, thank you for your support, and thank you for watching this video. And again, give me a subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.